Welcome to the Retirement Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Greg Gonzalez. My goal for the podcast is to help you live a better life in retirement by giving you the tools and information you need in a language that you can understand. I am a retirement-focused financial advisor in St. Louis, Missouri. We have clients in 17 of the 50 states, and we help people plan for a successful retirement. And throughout the podcast, I'm able to bring up different ideas, different topics that can really benefit you, the listener, as you plan for your own retirement. When most people are planning for retirement, they're trying to plan so they don't have the financial worries as they get older in life. I mean, just think about it. When you're retired, that's like 30, possibly even 40 years of being unemployed. And you don't ever want to have to worry about if you're able to afford to get your granddaughter a Christmas present or a birthday present. Most people don't want to have to worry about if they have enough money to take the grandkids for ice cream on a Saturday night. So I promise you, by doing a little planning before retirement and during retirement, you'll be able to live easier and have a more comfortable retirement. So one of the big questions that I get all the time from people as they're looking at their own retirement is, when do I collect Social Security? Should I start it now or should I wait on it? And what are the implications? So that's what we're going to talk about, that popular question of when to claim your Social Security retirement benefit and what are the ramifications of claiming early versus waiting on it and letting it grow and accrue. So we'll have a full episode talking about Social Security and how it all works, when to claim, when you might want to claim versus your neighbor. So it should be a great episode today. But before we get into today's content, I wanted to remind listeners to check out our website, which is retirementmadeeasypodcast.com. That's retirementmadeeasypodcast.com. You can send me your questions at the bottom of the website, ask Greg a question, and also I invite you to listen to previous episodes while you're there, as well as check out our free resources, such as our 2020 tax planning guide and my retirement secret sauce, which is the most popular resource. So check that out there on the website. So you might be one of those people that is considering when the best time to claim your Social Security might be. For everybody, it's going to be different based on a lot of different factors. Everybody's life is different. For example, are you married? What's your health like? Do you plan on working in retirement? Do you have other assets, other retirement savings that you could draw from and live off of while you're delaying your Social Security? These are all different questions that you've got to consider. So let's start with the basics when it comes to Social Security retirement planning. So your Social Security benefit, whether you realize it or not, your entire working life, you've been paying into Social Security 6.2%. It is called the payroll tax, or FICA. You might see that on your pay stub, right? Your employer also pays in another 6.2% into Social Security on your behalf, and you pay in the other 6.2%. And then you've got Medicare, which is 1.45%, and it's included in the FICA tax as well. So your Social Security benefit and everybody's Social Security benefit is based on your best 35 working years. That's how it's calculated. You might hear some people say their pension is based on their best 5 working years. Well, Social Security takes into account your best 35 working years. So if you're still working, as long as your earnings for this year are going to fall within your top 35 working years, your benefit should accrue or get bigger, right? And I think most people know your Social Security benefit, your Social Security retirement benefit, that is, you can start that as early as age 62 and as late as age 70. So between 62 and 70. There is what's called a full retirement age, which it's somewhere between 66 and 67. I invite you to go to ssa.gov and type in full retirement age, and you'll see, based on your year of birth, when your exact full retirement age is. For anyone that's born after 1960, your full retirement age is age 67. Let's say you were born you were turning 62 this year in 2021. So that means you were born in 1959. Let's assume you're just turned 61 on January 1st, 2021, born in 1959. So you are now eligible to claim your Social Security benefit. And you're wondering, should I start it now at 62 or wait and let it keep growing for every month that I wait? So the first question I would ask you is, are you working? Because someone that's age 62 is under their full retirement age, which if you're born in 1959, your full retirement age is 66 and 10 months. And why that's important is Social Security limits the amount of money that you can make while collecting your Social Security and under age 66 and 10 months, which is your full retirement age. So let's keep it simple. You're 62, and let's say you make $40,000 a year. Well, I would probably tell you to hold off on claiming your Social Security benefit. And the reason is, in 2021, the earnings limit is $18,960. So if you're under that limit, let's say you make $10,000 a year, then you could collect your Social Security benefit at age 62, and your Social Security benefit would not be reduced based on the $10,000 that you earn. However, if you're over that earnings limit that Social Security has imposed, which again is $18,960, for every $2 that you earn over that limit, they take back or withhold $1 of your Social Security. And some of you out there may be 62 and you're way above that Social Security earnings limit of $18,960. So essentially, if you make so much money, they're withholding your entire Social Security benefit, so you're better off waiting. So that's one thing to consider that we always think of is how much money are you making now that you're 62? Because right away, we might be able to determine, hey, you're better off waiting because you make too much money. Now, I get this question all the time. What about my spouse's income? Let's say you're 64 years old and you want to claim your Social Security benefit and you're not working, right? But your spouse is working, and let's say he or she is making $50,000. Your spouse's income does not reduce your Social Security benefit. We are talking about your earned income. And it has to be earned income. So a pension does not count, rental income does not count, dividends or IRA distributions do not count. It has to be earned income, like 1099, W-2 type income. So the first thing, again, we look at is how much money are you earning right now, and does it make sense to claim your benefit at that point? The next thing of course, is pretty obvious is, okay, how bad do you need the money, right? If your cash flow situation is such that you need that Social Security income to sustain your lifestyle, then by all means, we look at the possibility of claiming early. Now, the benefit of waiting is, for this 62-year-old born in 1959 this year, is once you hit that magical age of full retirement age, 66 and 10 months, you can earn as much money as you want. You can make $500,000 a year, collect your full Social Security benefit, and it will not be reduced ever. So again, once you hit that full retirement age, how much you make, how much you earn doesn't come into play at all. Technically, you could continue working at age 66 and 10 months, collect your full Social Security retirement benefit, and if you didn't need the money to live on, you could sock it away or invest it or pay down debt, whatever you wanted to do with it. The advantage of waiting between age 66 and 10 months and age 70 is it grows by 8% per year, so your Social Security benefit at age 70 is going to be quite a bit higher. The next question we like to kind of find out when it comes to determining whether it makes sense to claim Social Security now or later is, of course, where else could you potentially draw income from to hold you over while you're waiting to start your Social Security benefit? So do you have 401k assets, IRAs, Roth IRAs, that kind of thing that you could pull money on and live off the interest while you delay your Social Security benefit? If your retirement nest egg or the value of all your retirement accounts is lower, well, you wouldn't want to spend down all of those as you wait on this Social Security benefit, because then at that point, you've got no liquidity. you've got no nest egg to fund the best years of your life. So that's a big factor in should I claim my Social Security now or later. And then the next factor we want to look at, or you want to look at, is your spouse's Social Security benefit. Of course, if you're married, some people like the idea of starting the lower Social Security benefit of the two spouses first and delaying the higher of the two benefits, because there's what's called something as a survivor benefit. So if we have a couple and the wife's benefit is $1,000 a month, her husband's benefit is $2,000 a month, if husband passes away, the survivor benefit says that the wife's Social Security benefit, with now her husband being deceased, would be $2,000 a month, and her $1,000 a month Social Security benefit would then drop off. That's generally how it works. So by delaying the higher of the two benefits, you are ensuring that your spouse is taken care of or is going to have a higher survivor benefit should you predecease your spouse. So that's another factor that we like to look at is, okay, let's talk about your spouse. Are they going to continue to work? What's their benefit look like? Because you don't want to ignore one spouse's Social Security benefit in your overall planning. Another thing, and probably this is another obvious factor, is what's your health like? So if you're single and your health is very, very poor, I would probably recommend, and most people would tell you, to collect it sooner rather than later. Because if you're single, again, there is no survivor benefit for a spouse, so your benefit essentially drops off. So think of all the money you've been paying into Social Security for all those years, and you have to be around to collect your Social Security benefit. So that's another factor, is your overall health and how you're doing, how long we think you're going to be here. And what about your spouse? How's your spouse's health? So we want to have an open, honest conversation about that to determine what makes most sense for you and your spouse. And if you're sitting there wondering, gosh, I don't even know what my Social Security benefit is, or my spouse doesn't know what his or her benefit looks like, go to ssa.gov/my-account. And if you don't have a username and password, you can set one up. There's no cost to do this. And you can check out what your benefits are at age 62 and full retirement age and age 70. And you can see how the benefits grow over time the longer you wait. Now, there are break-even calculators that go into detail comparing claiming at 62 versus 63 versus, say, full retirement age versus age 70 and what the break-even is. But they don't take into account all these other factors that we've talked about, such as, okay, what if you were working when you're 62? And what about the spousal benefit, which we haven't even touched on? But essentially, these break-even calculators try to say that, okay, if you live until age 80, you would be better off taking it at full retirement age. And if you live until, let's say, age 83 or 84, you would have been better off claiming at age 70. But this break-even calculator doesn't take into account any of the details that are going on in your life, such as, are you divorced? How long have you been divorced? What's your ex-spouse's Social Security benefit look like? Do you plan on working while you're collecting your Social Security benefit? What's your health like? Do you have the financial means to delay your Social Security until age 70 while living on other assets such as retirement savings? Is that even possible for your situation? For many people, it's not, quite frankly. I have talked to people who were literally going into debt because they couldn't afford their lifestyle, and then come to find out they hadn't even switched on their Social Security benefit because they were waiting until age 70. And meanwhile, they're building up credit card debt at 20% interest while their Social Security benefit is only growing by 8% per year. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And another thing that a lot of financial advisors don't bring up when it comes to a very important factor when it comes to the decision to claim your Social Security benefit is, let's say you decide to retire but hold off on collecting your Social Security benefit. And meanwhile, you are taking income and distributions from your 401k and IRA and your Roth IRA, and you're seeing those retirement accounts go down, down, down while you're waiting to start your Social Security benefit because it has a guaranteed growth rate. Well, if one of your goals was to leave a legacy, an inheritance for your kids and grandkids. And here you are spending down your retirement accounts quicker than you imagined, just so that you can have a higher Social Security benefit or monthly annuity payment, which is that's exactly what it is. It's a stream of lifetime income. That doesn't jive. That doesn't make sense. You would be better off, in my opinion, starting your Social Security benefit, because that way you're allowing your assets to continue to grow and you don't have to draw as much income from them, because your Social Security, by claiming it earlier, is able to help fund your lifestyle. Remember, your Social Security benefit, it can't be passed down to your children, your adult children, right? If something happens to you and your spouse, your Social Security benefits stop. You never hear a 30-year-old adult son saying that, oh, I'm getting my dad's Social Security benefit. He was such a peach for delaying. That doesn't happen. Your Social Security retirement benefit is for you and your spouse. So you have to do what makes most sense for your situation. And if one of your goals is leaving a nice legacy and inheritance to your kids and grandkids, that needs to be a big factor when it comes to claiming your Social Security. So we've talked about many of the factors that go into this Social Security decision. It's more than a decision of saying, okay, do I start it now and get less money, or wait and get more money? There's more factors that should steer you one way or the other. And again, to kind of recap, we talked about, first and foremost, if you planned on having earned income while you're working and collecting your Social Security benefit, and what that income is going to be. Next, you want to look at your spouse's Social Security benefit, what it happens to be, and how their decision might impact your decision. And for those that are divorced, their ex-spouse's benefit is going to impact their own, because if you were married for 10 years or longer and not remarried, you do have that spousal benefit that's available to you. Next, you want to look at your other resources, your retirement nest egg, that if you did delay your Social Security benefit, how would that impact your nest egg? Would it really shrink it? And would you spend down your retirement nest egg by delaying your Social Security benefit? And that's going to be based on how much you have saved. I also mentioned your health and your spouse's health, because again, remember, Social Security is a lifetime annuity. It's an annuity payment. So you have to be around to collect it. So if you're not around, it's going to do you no good. It may do your spouse good, but for those single people out there, they don't have a spouse, your Social Security benefit stops. And lastly, you want to take into account two things. Do you need the money? And if you need the money, a lot of people want to start the benefit sooner rather than later, if it makes sense. Or do you not need the money and you could afford to let it accrue for you, so it was bigger whenever you went to claim it? And then lastly, how does your Social Security benefit decision impact any plans that you and your spouse might have for a legacy or an inheritance for your children or loved ones? So in other words, by spending down your retirement nest egg, delaying Social Security, is there going to be less left over for the kids or your other loved ones? And how much does that matter to you? I hope this conversation on Social Security has been high level but helpful to you as you're thinking about your own Social Security benefit. If you have any questions, visit my website, which is retirementmadeeasypodcast.com. At the bottom of the website, you can submit your question, and I'd be happy to get back with you. I'm Greg Gonzalez. I hope to see you next time for the next episode of the Retirement Made Easy podcast. And remember, always dream big. The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, please consult your attorney, tax advisor, or financial advisor prior to investing. This is a hypothetical example and is not representative of any specific investment. Your results may vary. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices mentioned are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The SmartVestor program is a directory of investment professionals. Neither Dave Ramsey nor SmartVestor are affiliates of St. Louis Retirement Advisors or LPL Financial. There is no guarantee that a diversified portfolio will enhance overall returns or outperform a non-diversified portfolio. Diversification does not protect against market risk. All investing involves risk, including loss of principal. No strategy assures success or protects against loss. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.